Applications for the mean. Many colleges assign numerical points to grades as A is 4, B is 3, C is 2, D is 1, and F is 0. Find the grade point average for the following semester grade report. The first step is to rewrite each letter grade using the numerical amount of points. So A is 4, C is 2, D is 1, B is 3, and then F is 0. Now for the last column, we're going to multiply the credits by the numerical grade. So that means I'm going to multiply the values in my second column to the values in the fourth column. So 4 times 4 gives me a value of 16. And then 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. And lastly, 2 times 0 is 0. To find the grade point average, we're just going to add the values in the last column. So this is 16 plus 4 plus 3 plus 12 plus 0, and then divide by the number of credits. So we're going to add all the values in the second column. So we have 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2. And we get 35 over 15. Lastly, we'll just divide 35 by 15 to get a decimal of 2.333 repeating. We're going to round to the nearest hundredth, so 2.33 repeating rounded to 2 decimal places is just 2.33. So the GPA is 2.33. The mean number of hours that Raphael worked over the past 4 weeks is 35.75. If he works 42 hours this week, what will the mean number of hours be that he will have worked over the 5-week period? If we assume that Raphael works 5 weeks, we can label this as week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. Now the average is the sum of all the points in a data set divided by the number of values in the data set. So if our values are the number of hours each week that he worked, then we can add up all of these hours and divide by the number, which is 5, to get the average. Now, we want to know what the sum of week 1 plus week 2 plus week 3 plus week 4 is, because we're given week 5 is 42, but we want to find the sum of week 1 through week 4. So we can find this by using the first sentence or the first piece of information that we're given. So this first sentence tells us that the mean number of hours that he worked over the past 4 weeks is 35.75. That means that week 1 plus week 2 plus week 3 plus week 4 divided by 4 gave him an average of 35.75. If we multiply both sides by 4, we get that week 1 plus week 2 plus week 3 plus week 4 equaled 35.75 times 4, which is 143. So we can substitute the sum of week 1 through week 4 into the formula to find the average of the 5 weeks. So we just found out that week 1 plus week 2 plus week 3 plus week 4 is 143. So instead of writing W1 plus W2 plus W3 plus W4, I'm just substituting that with the 143. Next, we'll substitute the week 5 for 42. That's given to us in the problem. We'll add those two numbers together and divide by 5 to get our average. 143 plus 42 equals 185. Then 185 divided by 5 is 37. So, the 5-week mean is 37. Assume that in one of the classes, the student has earned test scores of 76, 81, 54, 77, and only one test remains. Part A. If the student needs a mean score of 70 to earn a C, then what must the student obtain on the final test? We'll use the mean formula to figure this out. So the mean is just the sum of all the values divided by the number of values. We'll take each of the test scores, 76 plus 81 plus 54 plus 77, and the missing test score, we'll call that X, and we'll divide by the number of tests. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests. And this will give us the average. Now we want the mean or the average to be a 70. So that means I'm going to let my equation equal 70. Now I'll just solve for X. First, we can multiply both sides by 5. I get 76 plus 81 plus 54 plus 77 plus X equals 350. Next, we'll add all of our like terms. So 76 plus 81 plus 54 plus 77 equals 288. Our last step to isolate the X is to subtract 288 from both sides of the equation. So I get X equals 350 minus 288, and we get a value of 62. So the student must obtain a 62 on the final test to get a C. That's the answer to part A. Now I'm going to use the same method to solve part B. Part B says if the student needs a mean score of 80, then what must the student obtain on the final test? So we'll set this equation up the same way. I have 76 plus 81 plus 54 plus 77 plus my missing test score, which we'll call X, divided by 5 equals 80, because now I want the mean to be 80. Now we'll solve for X. So we'll multiply both sides by 5, and we get 76 plus 81 plus 54 plus 77 plus X equals 400. 76 plus 81 plus 54 plus 77 is 288. Lastly, we'll subtract 288 on both sides of the equation. And we get X equals 400 minus 288, which gives us 112. So the student must obtain a 112 on the final test to get a B. And that's our answer to part B.